Well, we're here with Tim Hudson, new A's Hall of Famer at the early brunch. How does that sound? A's Hall of Famer.
Wow, it's an honor. This is where it all started for me and my career, and just having that, label behind your name is really exciting. And I know what this organization, the history behind this organization, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Well, you're going to get a lot of that history today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun because it's going to happen here in just a little bit when Raleigh Fingers and Mark McGuire and everybody starts showing up. To join that kind of fraternity, some of the greatest names in the history of baseball, has to be truly special.
Yeah, I mean, it can be overwhelming a little bit. I wasn't nervous till you just said that. So
Dave Stewart, Tony La Russa.
Yeah, but it's I'm thrilled to be a part of it. I'm really very excited to be inducted with Zito and Mulder.
Yeah.
Those two. It seems like we, our career started around the same time, and you couldn't really mention one of our names without mentioning the other two. So I'm honored to be with those guys, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it really is special that all three of you are going in because you're so close. When we found out and we had you guys all on A's Cast, Mark Mulder said your wife Kim, it's like a sister to him. It's like people need to realize that you guys grew up together more than just baseball players. The friendship, the brotherhood, it's something special to you guys.
It really is. It is. We were, looking, where we are now in our lives compared to where we were then. I mean, it's such a different chapter, but, seeing how everything has unfolded over the years, it's really exciting. I'm proud of those guys, how they've, how their lives have unfolded with their families and their kids. And, I look at my family and how proud I am of how, everything's unfolded for us. So, but it was a very, big part of our lives together early in our careers, and I know that I wouldn't have had near the career that I had if I wasn't on the same team as those two guys early in my career. That's for sure.
It's one thing when you're going out there and you're trying to get outs and trying to win ball games, but also you guys are pushing each other, for greatness.
Yeah, those guys. I feel like we set the bar pretty high with our pitching staff, and going out there and seeing those guys do what they would do every fifth day, and a lot of times you were just trying not to be the worst out of the three of us, and if you wasn't the worst out of the three of us, then you were doing pretty good, I think.
When did you know when they came up? Because you were up before them. You made that debut against San Diego. You showed everybody you could hit a little bit and you could pitch. But when they came, when did you know we really got something here with these two guys?
Yeah. Well, I knew with Mulder because we were in AAA together, so I would watch him pitch up there, and I was like, man, this kid's pretty special, even though he was a little bit younger than I was. And so I knew firsthand, what kind of talent he had. I didn't really know Zito until he had gotten drafted and came to make his debut. I'd never seen him pitch, and I remember when he came up, I won't ever forget, there was an outing against Anaheim that he came in and pitched. I don't know if it was his debut or what, but he was just making everybody swing and miss at that curveball and making some of the best hitters in the game just look foolish, taking it, and just he had something really different that a lot of pitchers didn't have, and that was fun to see unfold.
So for you in your career, you think you're also in the Braves Hall of Fame. You've won the World Series. You've been to multiple All-Star games. Is this kind of full circle right here, and the whole family, and now your kids are grown, they get to see Dad go into this Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it really is. It's when you start getting, having ceremonies like this, it means you had a pretty good career, but two, you've gotten older. You got a little long in the tooth, and it's just it's exciting just to see the excitement around the organization, and I'm just very grateful and happy that the A's fans and the A's organizations, embrace us and really are making this a pretty special moment for us.
Do you have one memory or a couple memories that are your favorite that you think about your time playing for the A's?
Well, I think in 2000, one that always sticks out to me is the first time we clinched a playoff berth in 2000 when we beat Texas at the end of the year to make it to win the wild card to go to the playoffs. And because the years leading up to that, it was pretty slim when it comes to playoffs, and I feel like that was the start of something that was pretty special for our guys, and we knew we had some young guys coming up in the minor leagues that was going to help us out along the way, and we were excited about the young nucleus that we had with our team, and that was the start of something really special. I wish we could have won a little more during the playoffs, but there was pretty good ball clubs back in those early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, people need to remember when you talk about the teams you were going against, these are some of, I mean, you played in an era where these were super teams, super players. You had, I mean, multiple MVPs when you start thinking about Giambi and Tejada. You guys' team was so strong. So we're talking about an era of you bringing in these teams in the American League. There were powerhouses.
It was a pretty strong moment in baseball for teams. The Yankees were perennials. The Red Sox, Minnesota was always very good at that time. It was just one of those things where, and we were a really good ball club as well. Sometimes I think, I don't know if we knew how good we were because we were so young, but we were going against these teams head to head. They had payrolls that was probably double or triple of what ours was, and but we were going out there and giving them all that they could want, and probably should have beat some of them a little more than we did, but it's just not how the cards unfolded for us.
Yeah, a clubhouse that probably felt like you were back at Auburn at some times.
It was we always joked around like it was a fraternity. I mean, it was kind of like a frat house type atmosphere. We were all young. We were all really excited to have our career started around the same time, and throw in some winning in there, and winning some games, and winning some divisions and wild cards, and it makes for an exciting time for all of our lives, and I'm happy to have been a part of it.
Let's end on this, because this is something that's always been said. As great as everybody was on those teams, they always said if there was one game they wanted one guy to pitch, it was you. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's that's great. It's an honor to hear that people would have that much confidence in me going out there. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I feel like any of our guys that we threw out there, we were gonna have a good chance to win. But that does make me feel good that they believed in me like that, and but it's also would be nice to have that curveball that Zito was throwing in there, or that sinker and split that Mulder was throwing from the left side. So I think any way you looked at it, we was gonna have a pretty good chance to win.
Well, this is going to be a huge day for you. Congratulations. It's a great honor. Have the whole family here. The kids are grown now. Yeah. You're going to truly appreciate it. And they know how great Dad was.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day. I'm excited, and I know I'm happy for them to be able to experience this with me.
Well, enjoy it. It's a great honor.
Thank you.
Tim Hudson right here on A's Cast.